Morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're here with us in the group this morning to catch this live. If not, I hope you enjoy the replay because this is going to be an awesome interview. So my name's Lorraine. You've seen me in your masterclass already, and I run Formula Botanica. And as you probably know, we opened up enrollment yesterday for our International Organic Skincare Entrepreneur Program. And we've had loads and loads of students enroll with us already. It's been a very exciting day for us already because we've got a whole new student intake and we hope to welcome many more students into the school. So one of the things I want to do here in the group over the next few days is interview a couple of our graduates. And I'm joined today by Formula Botanica graduate and skincare brand founder, Nazs Bashir from Solo Skin London. So welcome to the live stream, Nazs.
Hi. Thank you so much, Lorraine, for having me on.
Oh, it's fantastic. I was just saying before we started, it's so nice to finally meet Nazs sort of face to face, even though we're obviously not in the same room together, but we've exchanged so many messages that it's fantastic to do this with you.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So could you start off by introducing yourself and telling us a bit more about you and your brand and where you are in the world?
So I'm Nazs. I'm the founder and the formulator of Solo Skin London. I am a small brand. I do everything A to Z on the business. I'm a mum of four. Sorry, not four. Two. Mum of two. I work full time and I run the business on the side. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I've done the diploma in organic skincare formulation, which has helped me massively with my brand.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the live stream. It's fantastic to have you here. And so today we're going to delve into Naz's story, find out more about her brand, find out more about what it takes to start a skincare business and the mindset you need and the different steps you have to go through. And obviously answer any questions that you have as well about what it takes and also what it's like to study at Formula Botanica, because I can tell you and my team can tell you, and we're horribly biased, but we love it. It's always really nice to hear from someone who's been there and done that as well. So I guess the first question is, when did you launch and what sort of products do you sell?
So I launched early this year, just before COVID kicked in. So for me at that point, I was, just launched with the night face oil, which I only started off with one product with two variations. So I have a fragrance version and I have a fragrance-free version. My target audience were obviously people who have sensitive skin, eczema, acne-prone skin, and that's where I started off. When I started and launched my brand, I was so excited. I was thinking, yes, oh my God, okay, here I am. I've got two products, essentially one product, but two variations. And here we go. This is me. Yeah. I was not visible at that point. And I just sat there and waited for sales to come in. And, you learn from your mistakes. But I didn't see any sales at the beginning. And then I was kind of just shocked. I was like, oh, what am I doing wrong? I'm a failure. I was like, I'm not doing anything. I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And that's it. I'm going to give up. And then I kind of was like, well, no, I need to change my mindset. Mindset is everything in a business. If you don't have the right mindset, it's not going to work. So I was like, actually, change my attitude, change my routine, look at what I'm currently doing and what's not working, and look at what I need to do and learn how, new techniques, be willing to make mistakes and learn from them and see what works and what doesn't work. And at the very beginning, is very much, you make a lot of mistakes. But that's what's going to help you grow as a person and as an entrepreneur and as a brand. So you'll know. So I had some lesson learned with my labeling. I used a horrible supplier and my labels were fading. And I was like, I can't have that. So that was one of my first lessons I learned, I was like, okay, I need to, there's so many different lessons you learn. So that's where it started. So when you start off, it's not all about making sales. You need to create a brand awareness. And then obviously, Lorraine, you gave me some wise words of be yourself. And then obviously my brand is all about being yourself, and just to be comfortable with who you are. So there was me about a brand telling people, be yourself, love your skin. But then there was me who was quite shy. I wasn't very confident in being in front of the camera. And I just didn't want to put myself out there. And I don't know why. It was just confidence within myself. But then slowly, you start practicing, being on live streams, and making mistakes. And it's absolutely okay to make a mistake, even on a live stream. Sometimes, I say the weirdest things and the funniest things, but it engages people because people can relate and people can say, actually, she's real. She's made a mistake. She's human. She's not a robot. And that's helped me massively grow my sales. And June this year, I launched my second product, which is a self-activating clay mask. And I launched that on my birthday. And a lot of people remember that.
Yeah.
It sounds absolutely crazy, but people remembered, okay, she's launching on her birthday. So when I put my birthday up, I had tons of people come in and purchase. And then at the same time, they were wishing me happy birthday, which was great. So that's where I am now.
Yeah. And you just before we started, you said that what had just happened in the last month? You said it was your
it was my best month. Last month, I say this every month, but then last month was my best month. I did my reporting last night because it was end of month last night. And I always do. I do apologize. My window's open. You can hear.
Right.
But yeah, every month, end of month, I'll sit there and I'll do reports, look at my sales, what went well, what sold well, what I could change, what worked.
Yeah, I love it.
What made me get those sales.
And hopefully what will now happen is that you end every month going, that was my best month. And then
that's exactly what's happened.
Exactly. Well, I'm thrilled. And I love that transition from I didn't quite know what to do. And then I found myself. It's effectively what you're saying, right? You discovered how to put yourself in the spotlight, be comfortable with who you are, be visible like this. And now obviously your business is really taking off as a result. So I am thrilled for you, and you are a superstar on Instagram. I do encourage you to go and follow Nazs at Solo Skin London on Instagram, and you can see all these gorgeous photos of her and her products. So make sure you go and check that out and follow her. So what inspired you to start your own beauty brand? Why did you want to set up Solo Skin London?
So it started off, so I've always suffered from sensitive skin. So there's certain products that I can't use and certain fragrances that I can't use. And I've always been picky, or if I pick something up off, like for example, in the supermarket and I use it, it stings my face. And I'll be like, oh my God. And then it will cause irritation. I'll break out, and then it will cause redness. And then I had some issues with my arms. So I started making some homemade body scrubs. And then you have a girly night and you make some scrubs and everyone's scrubbing their bodies and you're doing face masks and whatnot. And then someone was like, it's worked really well for me. Can I buy it off you? And it was a friend. And I said, yeah, that's fine. But then her friend's friend wanted to buy, who I had no idea who it was. And I was a bit reluctant because I was like, I'm sure I need to be following some sort of regulation to be able to sell to the public. And I didn't sell it. I was reluctant. And I said, I'm not doing it because I'm scared.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to provide a service knowing that I'm confident in myself to be able to hand a product to someone and say, actually, I am so proud to say that I follow regulations, I'm a qualified formulator, and I can provide you with one of the best products. So I did some research and I was a bit hesitant I'm not going to lie. I've never been an online kind of study girl. I've always been like very much, I need to be in the classroom, I need to be in a class, I need a book and a paper and pens around me, and I need a teacher in front of me.
Yeah.
So when I did sign up to this, to Formula Botanica, I was a bit scared, thinking, am I going to do this? But it's so crazy. In the first couple of modules, you do feel a little overwhelmed, but you just have to find yourself and find your way. And then that was it. As soon as I got stuck in, I can't get enough. It's like I'm addicted. So even with my preservation course, I'll even in my bed, I'll look on my phone. I'm not even on my laptop.
Yeah.
I'll be just reading my notes, or I'll be researching, and it's just amazing how like the videos really help you really understand everything. And then you have these worksheets that help you, make you think. And then you go out and then you be like, let me try these experiments myself.
Yeah.
And then when it works, you're like, oh my God, it works.
And obviously it has, since you're now obviously selling your beautiful products.
Yes. And it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding. I cannot explain. And the trust that people have in me to be able to say, actually, she formulates her own products and she sells them. And it's not like I'm going to a supplier and, you know, sticking on a label. So people find, and that's absolutely fine too, don't get me wrong. But for my audience, they love the fact that I'm doing my own formulations. And that's why people keep returning back to me. And it is because of Formula Botanica's courses that have really, really given me that confidence. And, you know, I graduated in my diploma in organic skincare. And then as soon as I started making sales, I was like, okay, I need to reinvest in myself again. And now I need to take the preservation course because I feel like that's something that I need. And I'm really enjoying it. I absolutely love it.
Oh, I'm so pleased. Thank you for saying all those wonderful things. We didn't agree this up front, by the way.
No, it wasn't agreed. It's genuinely true and honest.
Yeah, I'm thrilled that you had such a positive experience, and that, you know, obviously this has helped you so much in launching your brand. So what was like a typical day for you, like before you set up Solo Skin London? And what's it like now that you're a formulator and CEO?
So before I set up, obviously I was working full time and I had my kids. So I was kind of busy.
Just a bit.
But then I'd be like, well, what was I doing in my free time? So I'd waste my time like watching TV, maybe, you know, just going out.
Yeah.
And then obviously now any spare time is so critical. Now I'm obviously working full time. I have my kids, I have my family. I still juggle like the cooking, the cleaning, the washing. I do everything myself. But the thing is that you really have to keep, you know, you need to prioritize. That's number one. And like, for example, my day today, I've dropped the kids off to school. And the first thing was, okay, I need to pack my orders. So I've done the post office run already. I've come back, and the first thing was like, I need to get a wash on. And then yesterday, for example, was month end, and then you just filled with all these activities. There's always an activity to be done. So from doing nothing and being very social, and I, you know what, I don't even remember what I do in my spare time. I was like, what was I doing? I wasted so much time. But now, any time I have is filled with research or learning or experimenting, or, you know, creating email campaigns, or just looking at new ways of marketing streams. So there's different streams that I have currently, and just looking at new ways of gaining new audience and retaining my current ones. So it's like, how do I do that? So it's always just like, well, how do I carry on this ball that keeps rolling? And I'm just like, okay, I need to keep the momentum up.
Yeah.
So it's always, my day is always filled with something.
I love it. And yeah, you're right. I mean, before you start your own business, you do have a lot more free time. You also have a lot more free headspace. And then all of a sudden you find yourself driven by this passion, don't you? So what drives you? Why do you keep forging ahead with Solo Skin London?
So I'm going to be very honest. At the very beginning, obviously I didn't get many sales, and that for me really hit my confidence. And it just felt like, oh, what am I doing? But then when I had a few customers purchase from me and I saw the before and after photo, so I always say to customers, in order for you to keep a track of your progress, please take a photo, just before you use the product and a month down the line and see how you're getting on. And when they send that to me, that is just, you know what, it's not even about the sales.
No.
It's not about the sales. It's not about the money. To be able to help somebody feel confident in themselves. I recently had a customer, actually, I want to share this story, which was absolutely amazing because I had tears in my eyes. She said to me she's been struggling to find someone to get married to, because she feels like she's always covering herself up with loads of makeup. And she has really bad acne. So anytime she meets someone, they're absolutely fine with her because they see her with loads of makeup. And in short, when she would mention her skin, the person that she was seeing would just disappear and just ignore her. And that hit her confidence massively, where she ended up feeling really depressed. She just felt that she was never going to get married, and she just felt like her life was going downhill because of her skin. So when she tried my product, it transformed her skin to a way where now she's seeing somebody who has accepted her for her skin. Her skin is not 100% the way she wants it, but if you see the before and after, it's just mind-blowing. I was like, oh my God. And that is what keeps me going, and that is what makes me want to carry on helping other people. So yes, okay, as a business, yes, sometimes it's always, nice to have sales and it's nice to see your business grow, but the thing that keeps me going is those kind of stories.
You are changing lives. That's amazing. And that's obviously what drives a successful business. I say this a lot. If you can change someone's life, they'll keep coming back to you. And it sounds like you are out there in the world changing all these people's lives.
Yeah.
Amazing. So how has this changed your life? How has your family reacted to this?
So at the very beginning, I've always had support from both sides of my family. So my husband's side and my side, and they've always been like, yeah, go for it. But when I first launched, it was very much people were asking, are you making any sales? Are you making it? I was like, no, not making anything. But then, the sales start coming in, and then I start getting busier. And there's one thing that I've always told myself before and after launching my business is I'm never going to compromise my children. So I bring my children into my Solo Skin. They absolutely love it. They absolutely love my brand. And where I actually say to them, would you rather mummy go to work in the office, or would you rather mummy do this and sell my products? And they say, Mum, I want you to do Solo Skin. Please do this. We'd rather you do this. But it's about getting them involved as well. My daughters, they help me pack my parcel boxes. So they come flat packed, but they pack them for me. So they'll sit there and they absolutely love it. They love dressing up, putting their gloves on, dressing up in their little lab coats. And it's just fun for them because it's what mummy does. And that's exactly what they want to do. And there's kids love slime. every kid loves slime.
Agree.
So they were like, I said, you know what, I'm not going to make you slime, but I can make you a gel. So they've come into the lab before, and I've taught them how to make like a oily gel, and they loved just the whole texture, and they loved the fact that, you know, you put water in it and it's gone.
Yeah.
So they love the whole experimenting side of it as well. And in terms of how do I manage, it's sometimes I don't know how I manage.
No. No.
Sometimes I don't sleep, but it's all worth it.
Yes, absolutely. It sounds like it's a real passion project for you that is turning into something much bigger.
Yes.
And congratulations. And, you know, someone here said in the comments, and we just put this up, how wonderful that you can impact people's lives like that, Naz. And I completely agree. I love it too. This is what starting an indie beauty brand is all about. It's about having that impact and about being able to pour all that love and passion into your formulations and into your brand, and also into your family, because it sounds like you're inspiring your children along the way too.
Yeah, there'll be mini formulators sooner or later.
Well, let's talk about the formulation then. So how do you fit that into where you are, where you live in your day? How does formulation work, and what does that look like?
So with the night face oil, because I have sensitive skin, I know it sounds crazy, but I wanted something that fits me, and I wanted to create something that will help my health, like skin barrier. So I really liked my own product. And I test everything on myself first.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it sounds crazy, but I am my target audience.
Yeah.
And I try to do things that for example, I did suffer from acne for a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me about a year to formulate this, to get it right, to get it to the right consistency that I wanted in terms of how fast it absorbs, what ingredients will help, you know, certain skin concerns. And then you'll get oils that are really good, but they have this awful smell. And I'll be like, oh no, I can't have that. So then you go back to the drawing board, and you'll be like, okay, well, that oil helps tackle this problem, but what oil does the same thing but has less, you know, smell?
Yeah.
So you're constantly going back and forward. And I'm currently doing the same thing. I've got a few products that I really like. There's certain just the small little minute details that I don't like. And I'll go back and forward. And then I don't just test it on myself. There's a few people who suffer from acne or eczema, and I'll get them to test it because they're my target audience. And then if they are okay with it, I'll get them to give feedback, and that's how it just starts off. And then if everything's fine, then you go ahead.
Yeah, I love it. And how do you find the inspiration for your ingredients then? Because you're obviously researching all the time by the sounds of things, probably like 1,000 ideas running through your head at once. So how do you find the right ones for your needs?
So I think the way I do it, it might be different from everyone else, but I find that this works for me. And it sounds crazy, but I go to suppliers and I'll look at what they supply, and I'll look into that ingredient, and I'll say, actually, I've never heard of this ingredient. Let me go research on it. Yeah. Then I'll go into, for example, any studies that have been done. You just go onto, you know, on the internet, you can find loads of studies. You go onto there and you just research. And it's so simple, but it's just where I get my inspiration from. And then I'll see, okay, well, has it helped? If it's helped, then I will go purchase it.
Yeah.
I won't purchase it first. I'll go purchase it, and then I'll incorporate it. And if it does work, then amazing. If it doesn't, and there's been loads of times where I've researched ingredients and it's not worked. So it's all about trial and error. And don't kick yourself if it doesn't go right, because you're going to have loads of those.
Well, yeah, you've got to, because that's how you create a better product at the end of it. I've said this in a few of the live streams over the last week. You can't just make one face oil and expect it to be perfect the first time you make it. You'll go through lots of different iterations, and that's what it means to be a formulator. And obviously, you know, that's exactly how you're operating as well, which is fantastic to hear. So, tell us a bit about the ingredients you chose for your oils to start with.
So, with the fragrance-free one, and the fragrance-free one has actually won an award. So the Free From Skincare Awards, I got the bronze for this. On here, in the ingredients, you've got sweet almond oil, you've got meadow foam seed oil, poppy seed oil, rice bran oil, cucumber seed oil, rosemary extract, and squalane.
Amazing.
So it's got really good ingredients, and it's all about researching into each ingredient. So sometimes, you have to look at the fatty acid compositions, what percentages they are at, looking at the stability of each ingredient as well, because some ingredients are, they don't react very well in light, for example. So it's just going in, making sure each ingredient helps tackle something. For example, the squalane is really good for dry skin and eczema prone skin. So for me, that was really important. And the one thing that I always say to my customers is, yes, okay, my bottle is on the pricier side. However, my ingredients, for example, the meadow foam seed oil is used at high percentages, so the same percentage of the sweet almond oil, but the meadow foam seed oil has great benefits, for example, acne, and holding that moisture in. So you're not just buying ingredients that are diluted. It's just, you've got real ingredients that are going to really help you with your skin, and it works. And since I've won the award, people trust me more, because once something is endorsed, it just changes people's perceptions massively.
Well, congratulations on winning that award. I remember you writing to me when you got it, and I was just thrilled to bits for you. And how did that feel when you suddenly found out, your first year of trading, you haven't even been in business for a year, and all of a sudden you've won a bronze award for your brand new product?
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock. I think when I first got the tweet through, I was just emotionless at first, and it took me about an hour to realize what happened. And then I came home and I just started crying. I was like, I've just literally, I was like, oh my God, because it was, when I won the award, I had only been in business for 6 months. So to win an award after 6 months of launching was huge, such a milestone for me. And for actually, the judges to confirm that it soothes irritation, it really helps hydrate the skin, it reduced redness and stuff like that. That for me endorsed everything I said that it would do. So
I've worked with the Free From Skincare Awards for the last 6 years, and I didn't judge that category this year. I'm often a judge with them, but I can tell you that they send their products out to testers for a month of use, and then all the testers' scores come back and like piles of feedback on paper, and then the judges sit around and they look at it from a labeling perspective and from a formulation perspective. I mean, it goes through so many different. You have to jump through so many different hoops to win that award. So the fact that you got that after 6 months of trading is absolutely fantastic. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
We got some comments here I just want to highlight because I agree with them fully. Someone says, changing lives with my products is my dream. You are really an inspiration this morning. I'm not going to give up. I love that. You need to be inspired by Nazs. Hello, Nazs. I'm from Wales, UK. Very inspiring. This one says, Nazs, you're such an inspiration to listen to. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You are, and we've got people following along from all over the world. And someone from our team has just put up your website as well. So do go and check out Solo Skin London, maybe after the live feed. Listen a bit more to what they're going to say. So where do you formulate in your house? How is it all set up?
So we had a back shed. It's like an annex kind of style, which used to be a gym. Okay. So I've kicked my husband's gym out, and I've taken over.
I love it.
So I've said, you can go to the actual gym, go pay for your membership, and I will formulate in the back. So that's where everything happens. It helps with, reducing costs. It makes sense at the moment while I'm still very, small, to do it at home.
Yeah, I totally get it. How did he feel about being thrown out of his gym?
Well, at first he was a little bit reluctant, but I think now he's realizing actually it might just be better. I make more use of that space than he does. So,
well, that's great, because I think a lot of people think, where could I formulate in my home? And we've talked about this a little bit in the last week here in the group as well. And or if you're watching this on the replay during the live sessions we set up. And yeah, a lot of people think I can only do it in my kitchen, but that's obviously not the case. You've got a separate space where you go and do that. And I presume you've got ingredients stored there and equipment and everything you need. And
yeah. And it doesn't need to be anything fancy. I think a lot of people think a lab needs to be fancy. I've just got, the very basic, just a stainless steel table, some shelves, and I've only just invested in an overhead stirrer. But you got your scales. It's just, you don't have to go all out.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. You can keep it very simple, particularly in the beginning when you're small. And as you grow, you invest back into the business and maybe invest in more equipment, as you've just said.
Yeah.
So what did I want to ask? I wanted to ask about how you source ingredients for your business. Where do you find
now this is really important to me. So for me, obviously, sustainability has an impact on my business as well. So I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing from the very beginning. Although it's not a big USP of my brand, but I want to, as a brand owner, I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. So it's really important for me to use suppliers that fit my brand ethos. And one of the things that I really love to do is, empower other women. And that's something that I absolutely love. To be able to just give that back to the community is really important. So when I look for suppliers, I want to make sure that, when they're sourcing their ingredients, what are they doing? Yeah. Are they sourcing ingredients from, local farmers? Are they looking at, for example, one of my suppliers, when I was looking at a certain ingredient, they were sourcing it from Morocco, and they source it there because the women there, they cultivate everything, and they break the shells and they do this, but this provides them with a job. It provides them a meal. They're getting paid for it. So for me, it all comes down to, okay, I'm buying this ingredient, but actually what are my suppliers doing? And I like using ingredients that have a history behind it. That's really important. It gives you that actually I'm doing the right thing, and I'm helping not just, my customers, but actually I'm helping somebody create a living as well. So sustainability sometimes is not just all about, using the right packaging or using, sustainable ingredients, but to be sustainable as a community. What are you doing to help other people be sustainable in their lives and give them a job and stuff like that? That's really key for me.
Yeah, I completely agree and understand. And for what it's worth, you're empowering and inspiring women right at the moment as well, with a lot, because I know a lot of our viewers today and people who'll be watching the replay will be women as well, thinking, wow, Naz did it, I might be able to as well. And what would you say to someone who's just starting out and wants to become a skincare entrepreneur?
I would recommend just stick at it. I know there's going to be times where you just feel like you're lacking motivation, but just focus on the end goal. The end goal, just remember, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Why did you take the course on? And just fight that inner voice that's telling you you can't be bothered. Just carry on. Yeah, just keep at it. You will get there. And we all go through those, moments, and just talk about it, even in the group, like the Facebook community group, the Facebook page for Formula Botanica's students. It's such a great community. I remember, I had some personal problems, and I'd said, I feel really low after this has happened. I just feel like my motivation's gone. But I had this influx of messages saying, you can do it, Naz, come on, and that is what got me going. So you'd have people to talk to as well if you do feel like,
Yeah.
once you're on and you feel like you hit hurdle.
Yeah. We have the most amazing student and graduate community. They blow me away every day. And the level of support people provide each other, and they lift each other up, and, they're in it together. I watch people bulk buy ingredients or packaging together, or they share tips freely. And it is heartwarming, because this is how the small brands club together to create a movement, basically, and change hearts and minds. Because together we're probably as big as some of the cosmetic giants if you compare all of the indie beauty brands in the world. So I'm thrilled to hear that you've got such support from that, and that's fantastic. Just coming back to those struggles then that you talked about, I mean, what do you think were the biggest challenges when starting with the business? I know you've talked about mindset, but was there anything else that you found really hard to navigate?
So I've got no business experience whatsoever. So I went in, I was thrown in the deep end. I had no idea. I just thought automatically my sales will roll in. The biggest challenge I had was learning and looking at ways to gain new customers and retain my current ones, and looking at different streams of marketing. There's going to be different types of so for example, marketing is one section, but in marketing there's several sections, there's so many streams. And just the struggle was, how do I do it? Because I have no idea how. And all it was change my mindset and be willing to learn. The biggest challenge is just to be okay to make mistakes as well. Don't beat yourself up about it. I've made loads of mistakes at the very beginning by, it just happens.
Yeah.
But you learn and you move on and you learn from it and you grow as a person and a brand.
Yeah, totally. Every entrepreneur has to do that. I mean, when I started with Formula Botanica, I didn't know how to do half those things either. But it's exactly as you just said. You dive in and you have a willingness to learn, and you just give it your best shot. And there will be some things that you're great at and other things that you need help with, and it all just sort of takes off from there, really.
Yeah. So the other thing is that I know my weakness. The biggest challenge was I'm not a very sales kind of person. And that was my biggest challenge, because I've got this nice brand and I want to sell. But how do I get my product out when I know I am rubbish at selling? So number one, the biggest challenge is accepting that you're not going to be good at everything. And to be able to outsource that to somebody who is going to be good at doing that is one of my challenges I faced, because I was trying really, really, really hard, but I just knew I wasn't great at it. But, I have a brand representatives now, and they represent my brand and they talk about my oils and my clay masks, and I create training packs for them. And then each month I'll have a theme, and then they all feed into that. and then you just have good relationships with them, and then it all falls in place. Yeah, there's loads of challenges.
How did you come up with this concept of finding brand ambassadors and training them up? And how did all that come about?
So the first ambassador I actually came on board was in April, and I thought, let me try it. Let's try with one and see how it goes. And she got her first sale, and I was like, oh, it's working. So then what happened was there was no contract in place, nothing was formal, and then I had other people join, but then I'd be sending them out free products, but then I'd get nothing in return. They would disappear. So then I was like, oh my God, this is not good. I'm losing out. So that was a massive challenge in itself. So then I had to start learning how to have a binding contract with these ambassadors who represent the brand, who also take a commission out of the sales that come through as well. So they do get something in return, and they obviously are entitled. If they get X amount of sales each month, then they get a free product. So it's a bit of, if you do well, actually, I'll give you more products and you get a commission. So it works really well, and it works really well with a brand and the ambassadors because you're in a win-win situation. And my brand ambassadors, I always try to get people who are real. I don't want people who look amazing, who use filters. Yeah. I don't want that. It needs to be relatable.
It does. It does. So how do you approach them? What do you do?
So I stalk them for a little while. I follow them. So if I see that they are promoting maybe another brand, or I'll see that they suffer from a skin condition, I'll just follow them. And then I will wait at least a month just to see how they are as a person, their character, if they're showing their skincare routine, what their audiences are saying. If they're going on lives, I will join. So I'm very much like the Instagram stalker. Doesn't sound very great.
But it obviously works.
But the thing is, sometimes it sounds absolutely crazy. Although I'm able to formulate these products, some of these bloggers actually make me want to buy certain things. Yeah. And I'm like, my husband's like, yeah, but you can make these all yourself. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it looks really good. Yeah. So it all depends. I'll just watch them and I'll have a look at how they behave. I want my brand to be positive. I'm not a negative kind of person, so I need somebody who's going to empower others. I'm going to want somebody who's very positive and give that vibe as well. So yeah, I'll watch, I'll look at what they're doing, and then I'll approach them through either email or through a DM.
Yeah, that is so simple and yet so effective and clever. Yeah. And you know, I've got quite a few followers on Instagram now, and people are constantly in my DMs going, you should be an ambassador for this or this or this. And I'm sat there going, you know nothing about me, clearly. But that's the exact opposite of what you're doing, which is why it's working, because you're taking the time to understand someone, determining whether they fit with you and your brand and your message, and then getting to know them. And you know, 90% of what we do is about relationship building, really. And I think a lot of people come into this and they want to go full steam ahead. They just want to fire off 200 messages to 200 different influencers at once. But what tends to happen, I suppose, when you take that approach, is that you get none on board. Whereas the slow and steady wins the race attitude, which you're doing, is absolutely perfect. So congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
So where do you sell? I know you've got your website. Is that the only place you sell at the moment?
No, so I'm on the marketplace with the Green Pod, which is just recent, which was amazing for me, because it means it's one step closer to retail, if you know what I mean. So, and I also sell on Last Labels. They're a sustainable brand as well, so they sell online. So I've got 2 companies who I also sell with. And yeah, that's just my website and two other brands.
Brilliant. Well, I'm sure that you have more plans. We'll come to that in a minute, actually. I just wanted to say again, if you have any questions for Naz, drop them in the chat and I will do my best to put them up. I'm just going to put up another couple of comments. Let's see this. Oh yeah, this person says, I remember your posts in the online classroom. So we've obviously got some students and graduates in the comments here. You made an impression then. I feel inspired. Thank you, Naz. Your story is very inspirational. So I'm glad we're getting it out into the world today. And here's another one. You are a great inspiration. So look at that. You're empowering people all over the world today. Relationship building is key. Thank you very much for all your comments, and please do keep them coming. So what I wanted to talk about next actually is the fact that obviously we have enrollment open at the moment. So would you be able to describe to someone watching what it's like to take an online course at Formula Botanica?
Yes. Like I said at the very beginning, I think a lot of people are quite hesitant with online learning and being disciplined. But I think once you get into it and once you start seeing what you've learned in theory and applying it in your practical experiments, it's so rewarding because you would never think it would work. I always used to think it's not going to work, but it's so rewarding to learn something, learn the formulation, and learn the basics. Just thinking back at where I started to where I am now, I'm just amazed. I'm so amazed because not only you're learning formulation, but it gives you that confidence that you need to build your brand, and you will know yourself that you've put your heart and soul into it, and you can only do that. I only have got this far purely because of the courses that I've taken, and I'm not saying this because I'm on a live with you because it's really worked well. And I did the diploma in organic skincare, and the video training is amazing, and then you get the end of the course assignments and stuff. That is not for me. I just wasn't expecting it to be really well structured course, because you start from the very beginning and then you go deep into it, and then you're like, oh my god, I've learned so much.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. I have done so many. I've enrolled in so many courses and I've never completed them. This is the first course that I've actually taken and I've completed it. And I absolutely loved the way like Formula Botanica have structured their courses. And it's so simple and easy, like easy terminology. It's really easy to navigate around the website. And if you're ever stuck, you've obviously got like the Facebook community and you've got your tutors at hand as well. So you're never alone. You're never alone. So sometimes a lot of people think, oh, when you're doing online studying, you're just left alone. But it's not the case. I've built so many friends through Formula Botanica. And I've loved it so much that, you know, this year I've enrolled into the preservation course. And I would not do that and invest in more into myself unless it worked. So it's clearly worked. It's clearly got me to where I need to be with my brand and with my products. And I would not have been able to do that without Formula Botanica's courses. So I would honestly, I'm really looking forward to the coming years because my next course is going to be the stability test. And then it's going to be hopefully I'm going to do the entrepreneur one as well, just so that I've cleared everything.
Thank you so much for saying so many amazing things. And I can't tell you how happy I am to hear how much we've been able to help you, because that's ultimately, you know, our objective as well. We want to help all these amazing entrepreneurs like you all around the world start and grow this business that they've always dreamed of. And you're there now, you're living this. And I find that so heartwarming to hear. So what's next for Solo Skin London then?
So I have my third products is literally I just submitted my my cosmetics safety product report yesterday. So that's in the pipeline. And my husband's been bugging me to make a men's range. So I'm looking into that. And my kids want me to do a Solo Skin London Kids. So
New brands soon.
there's a lot. There's so much, but time is an essence of it. I'm fighting time at the moment.
Well, you're doing very well with it as well. I mean, the fact that you're running this and you've got the kids and you're dealing with everything else in your life, you're finding the time for it because you're so passionate about it.
Yes,
that's heartwarming. I mean, someone here in the comments says, Naz, you have such a humble soul. You're so down to earth. Your simplicity, sincerity, and willingness to share is so addictive. I could not agree more.
Thank you. That's amazing. Such a nice comment. Thank you.
Yeah. So what is the next product? So you said you've submitted your cosmetic product safety report. What's it going to be? Can you give us a sneak peek, or is it highly confidential?
Highly confidential, because I have, so my brand has VIPs. So if I leak it out to you guys, my VIPs won't be happy.
What secret then? And when will it be launched? Do you know?
I'm hoping end of this month, hopefully.
Okay. Well, in that case, you definitely, let me see if I can find that comment again. You definitely need, here it is, to follow Naz on Instagram, because I presume you'll be rolling it out there once it has been launched.
Yeah.
You can find out what the super top secret new product is. I love that.
Yeah.
So you've got VIP people, VIP customers, sort of, have they got their name on the waiting list? How does that work?
So with VIPs, they get a VIP discount when they sign up to my mailing list. And they get all the up-to-dates with the blogs that I do. Although I've reduced that down to once a month now, but they get the blogs through their email list. They get to know what the new product is first. Yeah. And then they get the first grabs of the new product. So they'll get VIP treatment basically. And it works.
Yeah. And it builds excitement. Of course. Who doesn't like being a VIP? We all know. We've got another question here from someone in our education team. I can't see who's behind it because I'm not in the group. But I think it might be Ken or Anna. It's normal to go through ups and downs. Did you ask for advice in the online classroom? And I know you already talked about, how you were having a bad time with whatever was going on and everyone lifted you up. But did you use the classroom for formulation advice, for business advice?
I still do it. I'll go in and I'll still ask. Just because I have a brand, it doesn't mean that I know everything. And I am one to constantly be asking questions. And they always say, when you are asking questions, you are learning. That's when you know you're learning. So don't ever feel like you can't ask a question. I have loads of people actually who DM me and they'll say, are you able to help me with this? And I might not be able to do it straight away, but I always go back to that person and try to help them in any way. And even in the online classroom, you'll see me floating around. Yeah. I still do it. It's where I started, so I don't want to forget. I love to kind of stay with my roots. And I always ask. I still do it. I still ask in the online classroom, how many times, like, for example, I've broken about 10 beakers. And I'm like, am I the only one doing this? I was like, I'm so frustrated with myself. Is anyone else doing this? and what, rather than using glass beakers, is there anything else I can use? Mm-hmm. What are people using? So just simple questions like that, I still ask them. There's no reason why you shouldn't be asking. This is where we're all kind of learning and we're all there to support each other. And just because I've launched my brand and I'm selling and I'm growing, it doesn't mean that I know everything.
I totally agree. And I love the fact that you're still in there. And so many of our graduates are, they go through a course, maybe they come back for another course, but everyone says how amazing that community is. And I mean, we've got over 7,000 students in there at the moment. And it is a really heartwarming place. You know, we find that people connect with each other from all across the world. They meet up in their own countries. They fly to each other. Well, they did pre-COVID. I'm sure they will again post-COVID, if there is ever such a phase. And it's just heartwarming to see these groups of people sort of find each other, and they're each other's tribes, really. And
exactly.
Backs.
And it's so relatable as well, because everyone feels the same way. And I think a lot of the time people are quite afraid to say it, but actually a lot of people feel the same way. And then that's when you start feeling confident in posting and be like, actually, does anyone else feel like this? But the online Facebook group is my always go-to.
Oh, I love it.
Even till now.
And someone else here says, I've connected with Naz's Instagram page. I'm excited and happy for you. Go and follow Solo Skin London. You've got to. Okay, well, I think we've pretty much made it. We've been talking for an hour. Can you believe it? It's gone so quickly.
Getting me to be quiet is the real challenge.
No, thank you so much for sharing your story and your passion and everything behind this amazing brand that you've created. And if anyone's watching, go and buy some products of Nazs. You should. I always say this, but you really should. I mean, we've got to lift each other up, and you've heard them. You've heard what Nazs said. You know, she's changing lives, and she could change yours with her products as well. So I will just find the website again, because I saw it somewhere in the comments here. Thank you very much, Student Experience Team. There it is, Solo Skin London. Go and follow Nazs. Go and sign up for her newsletter. Go and follow her on Instagram, and make sure you tune into all those wonderful live streams that she does, because they sound like a lot of fun. And I've caught a few as well. So just to round it off, I just want to remind everyone that enrollment for our International Organic Skincare Entrepreneur Program is currently open. We opened up yesterday. We've only been open for 24 hours, and already we've rolled in dozens and dozens, if not over 100 students already. In fact, I think it is over 100 students, and it's incredibly exciting to see. And we want to help change your life as well, and help you start the beauty brand that you've always dreamed of. So enrollment will be open until October 6th. That's next week, Tuesday at 4 p.m. UK time. If you're not sure what that time zone is for you, go to worldtimebuddy.com and just type in 4 p.m. and go for London, and then you can see what the time is for you in the world. We are pretty tough on that. We do shut down at that point, so just make sure that you keep that in mind. Obviously, lessons 1, 2, 3, and 4 of your masterclass are still free and available as well on your VIP page, so make sure you go and catch those. Those will also disappear next week, Tuesday at 4 p.m. So make sure you use the free training whilst it's available. I hope you have a great day where you are, and I hope you have been as inspired as I have been by Nazs and her amazing products and her amazing story. So thank you so much, Nazs, for giving us an hour of your time and sharing everything with everyone.
No, thank you.
Awesome. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and the replay for this will be up in the group afterwards, and we'll put it on YouTube too. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the masterclass, and if you want to come and enroll with us, now is the chance. So I hope we'll be seeing you again soon. I'll be back here in the group on Sunday to interview Katie from Heart and Soil, who is also one of our graduates. More on that on Sunday. And yeah, hope you have a great day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.